Would you eat in a restaurant in the middle of the woods? That's the question I pose to you tonight on the road to 40. Yeah, that's all I got tonight. Now I've got a lot. I've got so much and very little time, so we're going to try to make this a cram session. The E.T. burial ground. I read about this on IGN today. Apparently, somewhere, I think it's in South America or Central America, somewhere, where apparently at some point they buried an ass load of Atari 2600 cartridges, E.T. the Extraterrestrial game, because apparently it didn't sell well. It was a tough game, I remember. I didn't even figure out how it ended. And it was just those, I think, like, you know, it was like a grid. You could go up, down, left, right to go to the next, like, screen, kind of like Zelda. And, but I never found the end game. Like, maybe I was too young to know, maybe it was meant for older kids or something, but I couldn't figure out how to beat the game, because I couldn't figure out exactly what I was supposed to be doing. But apparently there's this giant, burial ground somewhere where they're allowing people to dig through and pull out the video games if they want. It's freaking weird. What a weird story. Like, I could see if it was gold, excuse me, or something, but it's Atari 2600 cartridges that were buried how many years ago? Probably, I don't know, 30 years ago maybe? That's crazy. What's the point? I'm sure you can get it on eBay pretty cheap. We should check that out sometime. You should check it out. So that's interesting. I never got to finish talking about writing songs the other night. I got real tired and woozy and just needed to go out of here for a little while. The lyrics are a funny thing. Is like, I can't sit down and write lyrics. Like, I write a song and I write a melody to the song, you know, for vocal purposes, and then that's when the words just start to fill in the blanks. Honestly, I'm not saying it's divine intervention. I'm not saying it's anything specific. I don't know. Like, I'm sure it's a subconscious thing, but that's what I really wanted to talk about the other night, because the chords kind of come on their own, because I don't like to write traditionally, although most of my songs do come out to be, you know, 4/4, chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, solo, chorus, outro, or something like that. Like, I try to break it up, but I never try to use the same chords over and over again. There's a few songs that have inadvertently gone that route. Particularly, actually, Michelangelo. Oh, did you watch the other one? Sometimes We Claim? I slapped that video together real quick today, just because I wanted to get something up. And Sometimes We Claim and Michelangelo. They both have that kind of descending pattern to them. Very close, but I think they're two very opposite songs. It was funny looking through the pictures, the Grey Shine pictures that I put in that video. That's the band I was in before I left Massachusetts. Me and the drummer, Mario, we'd played together since, I think it was like 95 or 96. Yeah, it was December of 95 was the first time I went down there. I still haven't transferred those old songs to digital. If I do, I think it's going to be really cool to hear. Or when I do, I should say. So yeah, that's just how songs come to me. I start playing guitar, I try different tunings, I try finding chords that I don't know what they are. Half of the songs I've written, I don't know what the chords are. I could tell you the root note, and I could tell you it sounds pretty in my ears. Maybe not everybody's ears, but certainly in my ears. Yeah, and I mean, I went through a list of songs. I tried writing down every song that I'd been a part of writing or written by myself. And, like, I lost count, but there was a lot of songs, man. It was, like, over 40 songs. Yes, Instagram. Yankees are beating the Sox 3-0. Game in progress. What the hell's going on with the Red Sox this year? I don't know. I guess I can't complain. It's a great story. This one just came out of nowhere. Red Sox. If you grew up in Massachusetts, you may not be a Celtics fan, you may not be a Patriots fan, you're probably not a Bruins fan, or you may not be a Bruins fan. But you're probably a Red Sox fan, whether you watch it diligently or just support the players of your hometown. Boston's one of those towns that just, man, well, they have killer fans, not we. I'm not a part of the Red Sox Association. If I was, I'd probably have a much higher quality video right now. But I remember in 2003 when they lost, when Aaron Boone hit that home run in, like, was it the 14th, 13th inning? It was a late night game. It was tied. It was Game 7. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that if you're a baseball fan, especially if you're a Yankees or Red Sox fan. And Tim Wakefield gave up that home run, and I remember I could just feel his pain. And my friend Brad was over, and he scared me. Like, I like the Red Sox, and I had just started getting into them, like watching them like regularly in 2003, and they made it to the ALCS, and I was just so excited, and they lost, and that was the first crushing Red Sox defeat for me, because I'd watched them growing up here and there with like my family, but I was never really a follower of who's on shortstop, who's on first. I just watched. It wasn't until 2003 that I really started to watch the Red Sox, and I've kind of fallen out a little bit. I'll catch them when I can, but I don't make it a priority to make sure I'm home to watch a Red Sox game. But in 2004, we knew we were moving. We knew that they were in the playoffs, and I knew they were going to win. I would have bet everything I had that they were going to win, even when they were down those 3 games, and like no other team had come back and won 4 in a row to win. I knew in my heart, I just knew, like, I can't leave Massachusetts without them winning. And I mean, it may have just been a feeling. They could have lost, but after that, what was it, Game 4, with Ortiz hit the home run, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, and then him and Damon just back and forth, just hitting home runs, grand slams. It was just like you could feel it. And my friend Brad, like, he'd been a Red Sox fan like his whole life, so he's the one from 221 Films. I just want to write that down real quick. 23, and that's at about 7 minutes and 18 seconds. He refused to believe. I was working at Walden Books at the time, and they were sending me over to the Dartmouth Mall. I worked at the Swansea store, but they were sending me to North Dartmouth because I was going to run the calendar cart there. Well, after Game 3, I don't think anybody who worked in the mall was at their store. Like, we were all at stores that had TVs. Or if you worked in a store that had a TV, you were all set. But my cart was 4 or 5 stores down. Like, I couldn't really see my cart from Radio Shack where I went to go watch it. And I mean, it was crazy. Everyone from the mall was just crowded around these TVs night after night. And I'd leave there, and then I'd turn the radio on and listen to it all the way home, and then I'd turn it on when I got home. Game 4, they win. Game 5, going into Game 7, and at that point, like, they hadn't outscored the Red Sox in any game since that Game 3. I don't believe. So, like, the Red Sox just had the momentum every single game, and they made magic, and it was the greatest thing that could have happened before leaving Massachusetts, other than, like, winning the lottery or something. Like, I remember just, like, it didn't even matter that they were going to the World Series at that point. Like, we'd never beaten the Yankees in an ALCS game, or I mean, in a 7-game series. So, first of all, we broke that, record or whatever. We broke the only team in history at that point to come back from a 3-0 or 0-3 and win 4 games in a row to win the series. And then we swept, I think it was the Cardinals that year. St. Louis Cardinals, yeah. 4 games straight, and that was it. I mean, the magic, the wonder of that team that year, the beards, the caveman. I was at for my engagement party. My engagement party. We went to go eat at some restaurant across from that mall because I had to work that night, and I had somebody come up to me and they're like, "You look just like Johnny Damon." And I don't look like Johnny Damon at all. I had long hair and a beard. And so everybody at the table, Corey was just like, "Yeah, that is Johnny Damon." And she's like, You are? You're Johnny Damon? I was just like, no, I'm not Johnny Damon, but I should have played it up. Maybe I could have got the whole meal paid for. We had like 20 people there that night. I'm sure that wasn't cheap. Yeah, so that was that. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Gwen was born. I'm sure she could have cared less if the Red Sox or the Yankees won, or if they went on to win the World Series. But for me, however, growing up, living nearly 30 years without seeing them win once, it was huge for me. And even if Gwen didn't care, at least they won in her lifetime. So if she turns 40 and they've never won one since then, at least she can say, I was alive. Where my uncle, my grandmother, my father was alive when they won in 1918. None of them can say they saw them win. And it's kind of sad because they were fans. So that was awesome for me. Then we moved here. They didn't win for a few more years. In 2007, they won again. Grayson was born before they won the World Series, so he also has been alive to bear witness. I think I may have even had him in front of the TV or something. I can't remember. To see, or not see, but be alive in his lifetime. If he ever becomes a Red Sox fan, he doesn't have to live with that. Although I'm sure it is different not seeing them. But nonetheless, there isn't much of a difference, because not having them won in your lifetime and seeing them won are two different things. They really are. So, now, two of my children at the time had seen the Red Sox, or been alive when the Red Sox won. Griffin was born 2 years later, 3 years later, 2 years later. And I was like, crap, now I gotta win again. So, 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12... sometimes they made it. I think once or twice they didn't make it in, which is very rare that they don't make it to playoffs at all. Even a wild card. So 2013, last year, after the Boston bombings and everything like that, they went on to win again. So now all three of my kids have been alive while the Red Sox have won the World Series, and I have too. Good thing, because if not, I wouldn't be here. It'd be kind of weird if you're just staring at your screen expecting me to be there. Now that's a story right there. I like writing stories. I think I can talk about my stories that I want to write on here because I think that kind of covers my ass. So they're date stamped, I mean, if I come up with an idea and someone writes a book based on that idea, I think I have legal precedence. I don't know. Let me know. If you have any idea, let me know, because I'd hate to start. I'll wait. I'll look it up tomorrow, because I've got some really cool stories I'd like to tell you about the ideas for. Obviously, the three old retired superheroes. That story, I told a lot of that. But that, I just need to do something with it, because I think that's a great story. But I've got so many stories I just want to write. I know I talk about this a lot. I run around in circles sometimes. That's what I do. Alright, we're done with the songs. And we're at 13 minutes and 21 seconds. Like I said, I'm going through these real quick. I'm going to call this one now, because I've got some plans within the next hour, and I don't want to screw up those plans. So, let me cut this one now. You guys can make somebody smile. I'm still not hearing smiling stories. I would like to know. It's tough. You know what I'm finding too, though? When I'm driving, I'm a really Boston angry driver, Massachusetts driver. And I've caught myself a lot lately over the last month. Ever since I started doing these, going, don't be mad, don't be angry, don't be angry. You don't know their story, their situation right now. So, you just gotta let it go. You gotta let it go, man. You can't hold on to that unnecessary anger. It'll kill you. It'll destroy you and tear you up from inside, brother. Alright, so yeah. Let's make this world spin a little happier together. What do you think of that? I like it. I'm sticking with it. My name's Jason Oliver, and I approve this message. I'll be back in a few, maybe.